Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com, and hopefully you are having an awesome week. Yes, it is just Wednesday, but the clock is ticking as I record this Wednesday morning, a little over 72 hours away from Bengals Raiders. Like I said, playoffs, baby, and over the next few minutes, you're going to hear from Joe Burrow, you're going to hear from Zac Taylor, and we're going to start to discuss this matchup against the Raiders, which first I want to preface this by saying when I outline a path to the Super Bowl, it's exactly that. It's like looking at a path in March Madness to the Final Four, which every person does for their favorite team, always, absolutely does. And guess what? I wanted to outline the scenarios for you. And it was so funny seeing either Raiders fans or whoever it was like, you don't look past them. Ain't nobody looking past the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to come into Cincinnati, to Paul Brown Stadium, and be extremely competitive. And so I want to hammer that point home. And that's what we're going to start to turn our focus towards here with this video. I'll turn my focus towards that with analysis towards the game over the next couple of days. But we got special guest Peter King for you and some other great stuff. So again, hit that subscribe button. But let's dive in, because to me, the first thing in any of these matchups, but certainly on Saturday with two great edge rushers like they have with Las Vegas and with the Raiders, Maxx Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue. And it starts with Crosby. It leads the NFL in pressures. And to me, and you're going to hear from Burrow in a second, but man, oh man, the praise Zac Taylor gave to Maxx Crosby. Here is Taylor on Wednesday, or on Tuesday rather, when asked about Maxx Crosby, and then he goes on to talk about the other edge rushers, other defensive linemen with the Raiders.
He's one of the best players in the NFL. You know, he is, and you have to have a plan for him. He can disrupt an entire game. I've made this statement to others around here. Outside of the players in our locker room, he's one of my favorite players in this league. Just how he goes about every single snap, run game, pass game, the leadership that he's shown on that team. He's helped absolutely put them in a position to be in the playoffs where they're at right now. And there's a lot of players around this league that you respect. He's certainly top notch and one of the top up there for me.
Were you happy or satisfied at least with the plan you had for him the first time around?
Well, we don't ever want our quarterback to get hit, I think. And so, again, you got to have a plan. It's not like he's the only one. You know, they've got a lot of good players up front. And again, they can call some pressures that can get home as well. So, you're not just focused on one guy. I think that's probably what they like about their defense is you got Yannick on the other side. They got really good interior guys. They've got Cleveland Farrell, first-round pick, who's back there, and Kuntz and Nassib, so they got a lot of guys that can come off the edge as well and contribute from a backup role even. And then those guys up front can get you pressure too. So it's just a really good front, and the guys behind them play really well as well.
They can get heat on Burrow. And that's the first key to any of these games. Can you keep number 9 upright? Can you keep him intact? Can you let him do what he does? Certainly, I think that they're going to have to give Isaiah Prince, they're going to have to give Jonah Williams help. And that's the first part of it. And then going from there, hopefully you can get the run game going and you can kind of minimize the potential damage that Maxx Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue can do. Because if you're looking at the path for things to be disasters for the Bengals, that's it, right? As part of it is Maxx Crosby goes off and Ngakoue's in his face. They're hitting him. They're getting after him. They force turnovers, like all that. So you don't want that to happen. And obviously it goes without saying, but they're capable of doing that. They're capable of wrecking the game. And so the Bengals clearly aware of that, and Zac Taylor aware of that with his effusive praise. And one of my favorite players in the league was one of those quotes. And it might be a little off, but you get my point. It's high praise. But let's get to Joe Burrow, because I think what Joe Burrow said pretty interesting. And he had some big-time praise for his wide receivers, which you're going to hear what he said in just a second, and I love how he describes them. But first, this has more to do with the vibe and the energy, because it's a young team, young coaching staff, playoff game. Haven't won a playoff game since January 6, 91. So I asked him about that, if they feel that, if they discuss that, and more. This isn't a super long clip, but this is a good exchange here with Joe Burrow and his mindset going into Saturday's matchup?
You mentioned the vibe. What's the vibe like right now in the locker room, Joe?
Everyone's excited. You can kind of feel the intensity in the locker room. As soon as you walk in the morning, you got the music playing, guys walking around with a little pep in their steps. So I think our guys are ready to go.
Joe, I know you're aware of the team history, of the fact that the Bengals haven't won a playoff game in over 30 years, but do you feel that? And does the locker room feel that this week ahead of Saturday's game?
No, we're not worried about that. We're going to go out and execute the way we need to on Sunday to try to get the win. I'm thinking about going out and getting the win, whatever it takes. If I throw for 0 yards and we get the win, I'm very, very happy. So whatever it takes this Sunday, we're going to get the job done.
Calm, cool, reserved, collected. Joe Smooth. I know he goes by Joey Franchise, but he's just not worried about it. And I didn't expect him to be, but that certainly feels like that's his mindset. So that's a good place to be. It's a good mindset to have. And one more. And this one I love. I love it because naturally I was on Team Chase. You know that if you've been here. If you're new, and we have a lot of new subscribers, spoiler, I was on Team Chase all offseason going into the draft. Glad they drafted him, obviously. 1,455 yards, record-setting season, 13 touchdowns, 81 receptions. But it's not just him. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Joe Burrow with big-time praise for his trio of wideouts.
They're athletic freak shows. I mean, T is big, strong, fast. Jamar never gets tackled. And TB might not be an athletic freak show, but he's a really, really good receiver that gets open when he needs to and understands coverages and being able to get open over the middle. But I think our trio of guys, I'll take every single one of them over anybody in the league.
And that's the fun part of this team is those guys are, to me, scratching the surface. And when I think about the potential, it's awesome, long term. At the same time, I think they have plenty of talent now to make a run. And it starts up front against Crosby. It starts up front against Ngakoue. And if you can keep Burrow upright, I think you certainly like the Bengals' chances to score points on Saturday against the Raiders. We'll dive more into the defensive side of things, how they have to stop Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow and all of that fun yet challenging stuff over the next couple of days. Also have an exclusive interview with Peter King. But before that, I have to tell you about mybookie.ag, because right now, if you want to wager on Saturday's game, you can do so. And the Bengals, they're favored by 5.5 right now. The over-under set at 49. So you can wager on both. You can parlay multiple games. Maybe you want to just parlay the money line and you're going to pick the Bengals to win straight up. And you think that the Bills, for example, are going to win straight up and you just parlay those two money lines. Maybe you think that the Patriots are going to pull off the upset. You could do that. Right now, the Patriots 4-point underdogs. The Eagles 8.5-point underdogs against the Bucs. So whether it's a parlay, whether it's an over-under, you can do it all at mybookie.ag. And right now, with promo code BengalsTalk, you're going to get a 100% deposit match. That's free money, baby. Just like it's playoffs, baby. Free money, baby, right now at mybookie.ag. So go there right now. mybookie.ag. Use promo code BengalsTalk. They're going to match your deposit. You deposit $50, $100, $500, all the way up to $1,000 with promo code BengalsTalk. Again, Bengals Talk at mybookie.ag. Use that promo code. You're going to save money and get free money to use on, who knows. You know a line I like? The 49ers +3. I like that one. I think that dog will hunt against the Dallas Cowboys. But regardless of who you like, who you don't like, what we're going to be doing is covering wall-to-wall Cincinnati Bengals. It's playoffs, baby. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. We have a ton coming your way. Hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this going. Let's keep this momentum going because I like the Bengals' chances this week. We'll continue to get into keys and so much more. So for Andrew Fox-Miller, I'm James Rapien. We're just getting started right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.